After much effort, we have finally acquired a human specimen. This human appears to be in excellent condition, making them an ideal subject for our experimentation. We tracked an emergency beacon to an escape pod, and it seems the ship was destroyed due to an error in the navigational computer. Fortunately, it was determined that no one would notice the human's disappearance or link it to us in any conceivable way. The human is scheduled for experimentation, with the goal of researching potential assassination methods. However, some crew members expressed ethical concerns regarding the treatment of the human, arguing that we should treat them as an honored guest when not conducting experiments. Given that the human will die soon regardless, I, as captain of this vessel, saw no harm in providing them with my quarters and informed them that they should not roam the ship. The human agreed willingly and seemed pleased with their accommodation. It is well known that humans thrive in a high nitrogen, low oxygen atmosphere because their bodies convert oxygen into a harmful chemical. To test a possible assassination method, we altered the atmosphere within the human's quarters, increasing the oxygen concentration significantly. We observed the human over several days, expecting negative side effects due to the higher oxygen levels. However, instead of any detrimental effects, the human seemed more energized than usual, showing no signs of harm. This unexpected result led us to conclude that altering the atmospheric composition is not a viable assassination method. We decided to continue our experiments by adding different elements to the atmosphere while maintaining high oxygen levels. Introducing helium, carbon, methane, and xenon produced only mild symptoms, such as changes in voice pitch, which the human found amusing. Once again, this approach proved ineffective, forcing us to consider more direct methods. After the failure of atmospheric manipulation, we opted for a more direct approach by introducing a banned chemical known to be the most potent poison in the galaxy. We mixed this substance into the human's drinks, starting with minuscule amounts that should have been lethal. Despite gradually increasing the dose to levels far beyond what is typically fatal for most species, the human remained unaffected. In fact, they identified the substance as alcohol and requested more, even after consuming over 100 times the galactic lethal dose. The only observable effects were a change in behavior and mild disorientation the following day, accompanied by an apology for the destruction of items in their quarters. This experiment led us to the alarming conclusion that alcohol, even in extreme doses, has no lethal effect on humans, and we should avoid giving them alcohol in the future. Our morale began to suffer as the human continued to prove resilient to our attempts. With previous methods proving ineffective, we decided to test the effects of increased gravity on the human. It is known that humans can withstand up to twice their planet's natural gravity, so we increased the gravity within their quarters to 4 times Earth's gravity. To our surprise, the human began exercising, claiming that they felt weak and needed to build muscle mass. Alarmingly, the human's strength began to increase rapidly, and we realized that continuing this experiment would only make them more dangerous. We hastily reverted the gravity settings and made excuses to avoid further escalation. The human expressed disappointment but accepted our explanation. This experiment demonstrated that increasing gravitational forces would not only fail to kill the human but would also enhance their physical capabilities, further proving that indirect methods of assassination are futile against such resilient beings. As our experiments continued to fail, the human began to grow suspicious of our actions. To prevent any potential backlash, we agreed to attempt one final, drastic experiment. We used a handheld plasma generation device designed to deliver a lethal dose of electricity through plasma, causing multiple organ failures and severe nervous system disruption. However, after delivering a concentrated shock, the human merely sustained a slight burn on their forearm and asked to borrow the device. In a moment of panic, a crew member accidentally handed the device to the human, who proceeded to use it on themselves, burning a symbol into their skin. The human explained that this was a form of endearment, though we recognized it as a clear threat. It was evident that humans not only possess an alarming level of resilience, but also a disturbing ability to turn potentially lethal situations into something that barely affects them. Our crew's morale continued to deteriorate, faced with the impossibility of our mission. Despite our best efforts, every attempt to harm the human proved futile. Finally, we resorted to a direct and ancient method: blunt force trauma. We fired upon the human male larva with a weapon designed to cause catastrophic internal damage to most species. The result was startling. The child let out a loud cry and, in a feat of strength and speed that defied our expectations, disarmed the crew member and began firing back. The child seemed to enjoy the experience, treating it as a game. We observed as the child showed their parents the new toy and the parents thanked us for playing with their daughter. It became abundantly clear that human children are incredibly dangerous and unpredictable. This conclusion marked a turning point in our mission. We realized that any further attempts would not only fail but could also provoke the humans in ways that might lead to disastrous consequences for our species. Following the incident with the human child, we decided to take a different approach and observe the humans' behavior in a more natural setting. We transported them to a remote ocean world with an environment that should have been hostile due to its extreme salinity and powerful waves. To our astonishment, the humans, including their children, adapted quickly, playing in the water and even hunting local predators with remarkable efficiency. They exhibited an instinctual understanding of the environment, using it to their advantage in ways that surpassed our most advanced AI's predictions. The humans' adaptability and predatory skills were nothing short of terrifying. They captured and cooked the predators, expressing only mild disappointment at the taste compared to similar creatures on their homeworld. This experiment reinforced our understanding that humans are apex predators, capable of surviving and thriving in conditions that would be lethal to most other species. After the humans' successful hunting expedition, we reluctantly accepted that no conventional methods would work against them. Instead, we attempted a more traditional assassination tactic by using a metallic sphere dropped from a great height to strike the human larva. Remarkably, not only did the child easily dodge the projectile, but they also picked it up and threw it back with such force and accuracy that it became a game between the children. This display of strength and reflexes left us in shock. It was clear that the humans' natural instincts and physical capabilities were far beyond anything we had anticipated. Even the most direct and forceful methods proved ineffective, leading us to the inevitable conclusion that humans are invincible by all known standards. The failure of this experiment pushed the crew's morale to an all-time low, with many members expressing a desire to abandon the mission altogether. In a final, desperate attempt, we decided to allow the humans to turn against each other. During an argument between the human adults over their responsibilities, we observed them becoming physically aggressive. The female human began striking the male, and we realized that this was perhaps the only viable method of assassination, letting the humans destroy themselves. However, this method is far from reliable, as it depends entirely on the unpredictable nature of human relationships. While the argument was not severe enough to cause significant harm, it provided us with a glimpse of how humans could be vulnerable to internal conflicts. Unfortunately, this realization came too late, and we had already lost too many crew members in our futile attempts. The only logical conclusion was that humans, while capable of immense violence toward each other, remain largely impervious to external threats. After the disastrous storm that devastated our research facility, we believed the humans were finally defeated. The storm, with its crushing air pressure, acidic rain, and lethal winds, was unlike anything we had ever encountered. We lost 2/3 of our crew, and yet, when the humans emerged from the wreckage of their home, they were unharmed, treating the entire ordeal as a minor inconvenience. They even remarked that their children enjoyed playing in the acid rain. This casual response to what we considered a cataclysmic event only reinforced our understanding that humans are not to be trifled with. The storm that should have killed them all was nothing more than a minor challenge, leading us to the inescapable conclusion that humans are nearly indestructible. With this realization, our mission was effectively over. There was nothing more we could do to harm these seemingly invincible beings. After returning the humans safely to their home, they thanked us for their wonderful vacation, completely unaware of our numerous attempts on their lives. The experience left me questioning the sanity of continuing in my role, but I knew that resigning would only leave the galaxy at greater risk. I chose to stay on as an advisor on human affairs, leveraging our newfound understanding to build a profitable relationship with the humans. We began renting out death worlds to human families for vacations, transforming our failed assassination sites into popular destinations. The humans, ever the thrill seekers, found these worlds to be paradises, and this venture brought much-needed leverage in our negotiations. It turns out that instead of trying to kill humans, offering them an all-expenses-paid vacation to a death world was the key to gaining their favor. This unexpected turn of events saved our species from potential annihilation, proving that cooperation, rather than confrontation, is the best approach when dealing with the galaxy's most resilient species. Despite our initial reluctance, the decision to offer death worlds as vacation spots for humans proved to be one of the most profitable ventures in our history. The humans, seemingly undeterred by the extreme conditions that would be fatal to most species, flocked to these worlds in large numbers. They treated these hostile environments as mere challenges to be conquered, often engaging in activities that left our scientists baffled and terrified. Human children, who we initially assumed to be the most vulnerable, displayed a reckless enthusiasm that bordered on insanity, eagerly participating in dangerous sports and games. Their parents, rather than intervening, often encouraged them, reinforcing the notion that humans view danger as a form of entertainment. This peculiar cultural trait allowed us to continue our operations without further incident, as long as we ensured the humans were sufficiently entertained. Our researchers have reluctantly come to admire the humans' adaptability and resilience, though it has also deepened our fear of what might happen if we ever truly angered them. Our attempts to understand human psychology have led to unexpected insights into their social behavior. While humans are capable of extraordinary violence, both towards each other and towards other species, they also exhibit a strong tendency towards cooperation and empathy, especially within their familial units. This duality makes them both incredibly dangerous and potentially valuable allies. Observing their interactions on the death worlds, we noted that even in the most dire situations, humans were quick to form bonds and work together to overcome obstacles. This ability to cooperate under extreme pressure likely explains their success as a species. It also suggests that any attempt to divide or weaken them from within would be futile, as they would likely come together in the face of a common threat. These observations have led us to reconsider our entire approach to dealing with humans. Instead of viewing them as enemies or subjects for experimentation, it may be wiser to seek their friendship and learn from their unique strengths. The success of our Death World resorts has not only stabilized our relationship with the humans, but has also provided us with valuable data on their behavior and physiology. We have learned more about humans in the past few cycles than in all previous studies combined. Their ability to adapt to nearly any environment, coupled with their remarkable physical and mental resilience, makes them a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Our initial goal of finding a way to assassinate human diplomats has now been completely abandoned. It is clear that any such attempt would be not only futile but also potentially catastrophic for our species. Instead, we are focusing on how to harness the human strengths for the benefit of the galaxy as a whole. The humans themselves have shown a surprising willingness to share their knowledge and technology, provided we approach them with respect and goodwill. This shift in strategy has already begun to yield positive results, with several human-led initiatives helping to improve conditions on some of our more inhospitable worlds. As I continue to oversee our operations, it has become increasingly clear that the key to understanding humans lies in their adaptability. They thrive in environments that would kill most species, not because they are immune to danger, but because they are constantly adapting to it. This adaptability extends to their social structures, their technology, and even their cultural practices. The more we observe them, the more we realize that humans are constantly evolving, both as individuals and as a species. This makes them incredibly unpredictable and difficult to control, but it also makes them invaluable allies. Our decision to shift from a strategy of confrontation to one of cooperation has been the most important decision we have made. By embracing the humans as partners rather than adversaries, we have not only ensured our survival but also opened up new possibilities for our species. The future of our relationship with the humans is uncertain, but it is filled with potential. Reflecting on our journey from attempted assassins to reluctant allies, I am struck by the irony of our situation. What began as a mission to eliminate a perceived threat has turned into an unprecedented alliance with the very species we once sought to destroy. The humans, in their typical fashion, have shown no ill will towards us, even after discovering the true nature of our original intentions. Instead, they have welcomed us into their fold, sharing their knowledge and resources freely. This generosity, coupled with their terrifying resilience, has led us to a profound conclusion: the best way to deal with humans is not to oppose them, but to work alongside them. By doing so, we have gained more than we ever could have through conflict. Our species has been strengthened, our understanding of the galaxy has deepened, and we have secured a place within the human-led alliances that are shaping the future of our galaxy. The mission that began with the goal of assassination has ended in a partnership that will define the next era of our civilization. As I pen what may be my final entry, I find myself contemplating the nature of the galaxy and the role humans will play in its future. The human's ability to turn adversity into opportunity, to find humor in the most dire situations, and to forge strong bonds even in the face of death, is something that has reshaped our understanding of what it means to be sentient. They have taught us that strength lies not in invulnerability, but in the ability to adapt, to grow, and to change. This adaptability, combined with their boundless curiosity and indomitable spirit, makes them a force to be reckoned with. As we move forward, I am confident that our alliance with the humans will lead to a new era of peace and prosperity in the galaxy. The lessons we have learned from them will guide us as we navigate the challenges ahead. And while the path has been fraught with peril, I believe that in the end we have found something far more valuable than victory. We have found understanding. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. For every comment that says we will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.